Hey, hi. A very good evening to all of you in the West Coast. This is Yogen from Fast Coding School. So, uh, guys, yeah, hi, Lalit. Yeah, so, Lalit, never mind. The recorded session for yesterday's class is available on the YouTube channel. So, if you want, you can have a look there. Generally, we share the link in the email as well every day. But all the videos are available on the YouTube as well. So we have a channel with the name Fast Coding School, so you can go and search that. So you will find it. Uh, so what the agenda we have today? So today again we have couple of items to understand and use them in some practical scenarios that where they are being used in Python. So today we are going to focus on two data structures basically, and one is dictionary and the other one is set. And I will have more focus on the dictionary part because that is a little critical and pretty much used in a couple of cases. So we have to have a good understanding around dictionary, and sets are easy to understand, right? So that is that. And if we get some time, so I'll just go through a quick overview of what we call as file handling, right? So that also, I may include. So that would be kind of a, last item if we, are on time. So primarily we are focused on these two, dictionary and set. But in case, so we can quickly go over to file handling, that how you can read and write data uh, uh, from a file, or to a file. So that's it. And if I go through a very quick overview that what we have done in this week, and we started this program on Monday, and on Monday, basically, that was our day zero, right? So on the day zero, we only had a orientation, and then we were discussing that where the Python is being used, what the versions of the Python are available, and what tool we are going to use. So RAPL was that. And on the day one, we focused on how you can take input from the user, how you can print it back, how you can play around with the strings. So a lot of things were there around that. On the day two, we primarily focused on understanding how the control flow goes in Python, how the looping is done in the Python. So how if, else, elif kind of mechanism is used, how you can use while loop, how you can use for loop, how you can make use of break statement, how you can make use of continuous statements. So that was the case on the day two. On the day three, we focused on a data structure that is being used by Python very much, and that was list, right? And we understood the concept that strings are read only; they are immutable, but list is a data structure which can be modified, right? And you can insert item, you can remove item, you can pop, you can sort, you can reverse. A lot of things were there. And along with the list, we had a small discussion around tuple as well. That was one more data structure being used by Python, and tuple are read only, right? So once in a slide, you cannot change them. Today also we'll have a discussion when we talk about dictionaries. So that would be there. And on the day four, we focused on the functional programming part of Python, that how you can use a couple of inbuilt functions like map, filter, and reduce, right? And that was in yesterday's session. So how you can use map, filter, and reduce, and how map and reduce are kind of mechanisms that are used in big data handling platforms like Hadoop or Spark or Databricks. So all of these use that map reduce concept. And so kind of a distributed architecture they use, and they follow this map and reduce principle to figure out what is the what is the meaningful insight out of the data. So that is there. And along with that, we also understood that how you can use a lambda a keyword to define your anonymous functions or define your inline functions, right? So that was in yesterday's session, yesterday's class. And finally today, which is our last day, we are going to focus on this part. So I think everybody's settled now and we can start. So, Sylvester, sir, Sylvester, are you there? Yeah, okay. So please be ready. I think today you need to explain that homework to people, what you have given in yesterday's. Uh, so you can take that when I finish it. Is that okay with you? Okay. So Bharti, Sylvester will be there and will take this and will explain that how it is working, how you can solve that assignment from yesterday. Is that okay, Bharti? Yeah. Okay. So now we are here in RAPL. So see, again, couple of interesting things for us today. See, first of all, I will focus my discussion on the dictionary side, and then I'll take the set. So here, two items for us: dictionary in Python, and then set. Okay. Let me take a scenario. So what the scenario is that there is a student, and he has written 3 exams, one exam for physics, one exam for chemistry, and one exam for math. And in that process, he has got marks in every subject. So maybe in math he is getting. So let's say he gets in math he gets, for example, uh, 70 marks, for example. Let's say, okay. In chemistry, he gets let's say 65 marks, and in physics, for example, right, in physics he gets around mm, let's say 80 marks. So that is how. Now what we want to store this information in our Python data structures. Somehow we want to manage this data, and then how we can do it. Because as you can see, we have to keep a record of two things. One, we have to keep a record of the subject, and along with that we have to keep a record of the marks as well, right? So basically two stuff, and you can treat it as a one record, right? So subject and marks, so they can be considered as a record for us. And as of now, what we know from our previous discussions, one way, and that way would be kind of a crude way to handle that, but we can manage it. So what we can do, maybe we can do one stuff, that we keep the names of all the subjects in a list and keep the marks in a separate list, right? So maybe that can be the case where I say let me declare a list which is something like that: subject names, right? Subject names is equal to, for example, I say maths. That is my first subject, and then comma, and then next subject, which is chemistry in this case, And then I have the last subject, which is physics in this case. So this is what we have, right? Uh, so, okay. So after this, I can have one more list with name, let's say, subject marks, right? And there I can, I can, specify the marks keeping the same sequence, the sequence which I have, taken in specifying the subject names. I can, I will keep the same sequence. So I'll say in maths, 70 marks, in chemistry, 65 marks, and in physics, 80 marks. This is how, so now you have, taken two lists, and that way you are managing, this data. And now if I have a query that I want to know, or I want to print that how many marks in chemistry, let's say, how many marks in chemistry. And then the way to get those marks corresponding to chemistry would be that first I need to get that what is the index value of the chemistry subject, right, in the list subject names. So how I can check that what is the index of a given subject? We know that method, that we can use list name, right? And so we can use a list name, and there we use dot, and there is a method called index, right? And index will give us that what is the index value of your subjects, and the subject in which we are interested is chemistry, right? So this index would be printed, and I can probably store this in some variable, let's say int. So now this variable int has the corresponding subject, and I can use this index, which I have recently got at line number 15, and use that index to get the value from list 2. So I use this index, right? And I say subject marks, that is my list which is holding marks. And now I use indexing mechanism and I say int, right? And probably I can print this now. So this is how a way, a way around basically uh, to get the marks corresponding to a subject. So let's see how it's working. Let's run it. And can you see we got 65 here? Why? Because that was our list holding subject. That was our another list holding marks. And then first we went into this list and searched that what is the index location of my subject, and then we use the same index location to get or to fetch the marks from the second list. So in this, the thing that is most important is that you have to keep the sequence. Otherwise, you get a mismatch. So is this clear to everyone that how we have managed, right? Somehow managed to, get the data what we were interested in. Is that clear? Ankur, Bharti, Kalyan, Lalit, Meenu. Okay. So good. Now you can, have a look at this code, that this is not a kind of a code, which can go into kind of production. So you have to have something else, and we have, a good mechanisms in Python that you can, manage this kind of, data. And for that purpose, what we use inbuilt data structure that is called dictionary. And how you manage that? So to this Bharti, you can do that, but if the list is long of the subjects, you will not keep a track that what is the specific index of a given subject, right? So first you have to go to the subject names list so that you can get the index, right? Let's say you have 100 entries there in the list, subject names list. Then what will happen? Can you remember the index? No, you can't remember the index, right? Then you have to use that method, right? And then you can use that index. Is that clear, Bharti? Yeah. Okay. Now Now see how we store this data now in another format, and this format would be called as a dictionary. So how we do that, let's see. So in Python, dictionary is we declare a dictionary like this, okay, curly braces. And in dictionary, how we represent this data, so we use a colon, okay. Before colon, you specify the subject name, right? So you specify the subject name, so you say maths, so that becomes your subject name. And after the column, you specify, the marks, so, and that is called as actually the value. So that is called a value. So, and here we put comma. So now you can see in a dictionary, we have added a record, first record, and this record is called as a key value pair. This record is called as a key value pair. And what you see on this, left side, this is called as key. And what you see, this is called as a value. So in dictionary, we always add a key value pair only. And that becomes our one record. We can add more records. So we use comma here, and then in the same format, we can specify other subject marks as well. So we have chemistry, right? So this is our subject. Then we have a colon, and then we have mark 65, right? And then we have our subject physics, and here we specify marks in subject. See this. So now this is, okay. So okay, now we have, so now this is a dictionary which is holding three records for us, and every record is the key value pair. Left side is called key, the right side is called value. And we can name this object. So maybe I say dict1 is equal to your this data structure. And now if we want to know that what is the type of my dict1, so I can make use of a function type1, and there I specify my object name, that is dict1, right? So here we go. So let's check it out. Let me. Okay, so can you see we got a dictionary type here, right? And now a couple of interesting things that can happen with the dictionary data structure that you can see here. Now, how to get a data? What we were trying to get a data, information. We were trying to get that what are the marks corresponding to a subject, chemistry. So how we can use dictionary to get that information? For that, we have to get the name of the dictionary. That's dict1 here. And now we have to use the index mechanism where we have to specify a key as an index. So if we want to get the marks from, for chemistry, so we have to specify that key here, right? So here you could, chemistry. So this would be, a fetching a value corresponding to this key chemistry, right? That will fetch marks or the value corresponding to chemistry subject. And can you see we got 65 here, right? So this is how you get a data from a dictionary. You have to specify, right, the key here, and then you will, get the corresponding value. Obviously, here we are talking about marks that is there. And a couple of things here about the dictionary. In the dictionary, the keys are always unique, right? You cannot have a duplicate keys. You cannot have a repetition of the keys there, right? That is there. Values, obviously, they can be, they can be repeated. The keys has to be unique here. Okay. Then let's say, a couple of things around the dictionary. Okay, I can check with the length as well that how many items is that got. So I can use the same global function alien, and then I say dict1. Oh, I say dict1 here, and then you can see 3. Why it is giving 3? Because this is one entry for dictionary, this is one more, and this is one more. So you have got 3 entries, 3 records actually, right? So this is the way you have. Okay, now the student, uh, who appeared for these 3 exams, right, was not happy with his marks in mathematics, and then he went for a re-evaluation, right? So, and then after the re-evaluation process, what happened? Uh, he got, 80 marks in maths. So now the new marks that he has in maths is 80, right? So how we can update our dictionary for this, so that our, dictionary also reflects this change, that now the marks that he has got after re-evaluation are 80. So this process is simple. So how we can do this? First, we need to get to this value, and then we will replace this value with the new mark. So how we can do that? In the dict1, right? How I can get to this 70? So I need to specify the key, right? So that's maths. And now I'm going to assign a new value for this key. As of now, it is 70, right? So if I print only this expression from here to here, it will obviously print me 70. But now I'm making an assignment and I'm just putting it to 80, right? So now we have to check that how many, is it allowed or not, right? So, okay, no error. That means this was allowed, and I can print my dictionary here as well. So I can, print it on the console that you can see. And here you see, right? So this time, can you see maths got 80 here? That means we were able to successfully update the value. We were able to successfully update the value. That means dictionaries can be modified. Dictionaries can be modified. You can change the value, right? This is not read-only data structure. You can change it, right? So, so that's how you replaced your old value with the new value, right? So this is the replacement, and you can see here the key is still unique, right? You lost the previous value, and the new value is 80 there, and you can use dict1 and then say that I want marks in maths, so it will obviously print 80 for you. So this is how that is there. Now we can change the value obviously. But can we add a new record as well after the initialization? Yes, we can add a new record as well. Let's say you want to add a new subject into this, right? So how you can do that? Dict1, okay. Now I'm making a new entry, right? After the initialization. And now I have to specify a key here. So let's say one more additional subject that a student has is bio, for example, right? And and in bio he gets 67 marks, for example, right? So this is how you specify a new entry into a dictionary. It's a new entry, right? Bio is not there. Earlier only maths, chemistry, and physics are there. Now you're adding a new subject here, so this becomes the key, and that will become a value, right? So here we rerun this code again, and now when you print your dict1, you will see 4 entries there. Can you see maths and then chemistry and then physics and then biology or bio? So that means we can add a new record as well. But can we, delete a record as well? Yes, we can delete, uh, 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 yes, I'll come to that, Lalit. Just hold on. And we can delete an entry as well. So how we can use that? Maybe we can use a DEL method. And how to specify? Let's say I want to remove my record corresponding to bio. So I will have to specify this. That's it, right? My dictionary. And then I have to specify the key. So if I specify this, right, it will remove the complete record corresponding to bio. So, that means along with the key, it will remove the value part as well. So it has to delete the entire, record. Yeah, Kalyan, thanks for that. It's dict1 actually, right? So now here you see that we added bio and the line number 39, but in the line number 41, we are deleting that record again. And so we are again left with the 3 records only, right? So that is there. Lalit, coming to your question, Lalit was asking that can we have an empty dictionary? Yes, we can have an empty dictionary. So maybe we can define this dict2 is equal to this. That's a simple way to define your empty dictionary, Lalit. And here you see you have dict2 here, and there you see. That's it, right? And later on, you can add more items to it, right? Later on, you can add more items. The way I was just doing it here, right? The way I was just doing here, you can add more items into that. So are things good so far with you guys? Meenu, Bharti, Kalyan, right? Kalyan, you cannot choose where to insert new items. You cannot choose that, right? So Kalyan is saying, can we choose like, where to insert new items? No, you can't do that, Kalyan. You don't have any mechanism for that, right? Uh, yeah, you are right. So this is how things work in the dictionary. Meaning, is that okay with you, Ankur, Bharti? Okay. Yeah, we can add item in dict2 as well. Meaning, we can do this. Let's say dict2, right? And then let's say in the dictionary, I want to keep so. See, in the dict2, let's say you want to manage a record corresponding to a country name and then the capital, let's say, meaning, right? So in that case, what you can do, maybe you can say USA, that becomes your a key, and then you can assign, a capital name there. So Washington, for example. So that's it. So how you can add a new item into a dictionary as well. So now you can print it dict2. So this is there, USA, Washington. Is that clear, Minu, now? Okay. Now Lalit is saying, so I try to relate everything with table. What would be the data structures to store a table in Python? And for that purpose, Lalit, I think it's a good question. So maybe you can have one thing here. We have a library in Python called Pandas, right? We have a library in Python that is called Pandas, and Pandas has a functionality that it can store your a table data, and what you call table, it becomes data frame in that library. What you call the table in general sense, in sense of a database, right? That becomes a data frame. So data frame is a tabular data, actually. Data frame is a tabular data, and from that you can perform a lot of queries. So how you specify a SQL query to get a data from a particular table or with some particular filter against certain condition. The same you can use in the pandas. So that is kind of kind of a equivalent a tool what you use SQL. And if you are good at SQL, catching up with the Python is just 1 or 2 days kind of stuff. That's it with pandas. And that is a so powerful library that almost every data analytics guy who is into Python domain uses that library. Lalit. Okay. So yeah, pandas, Lalit. Pandas, pandas. Write it here actually. So actually, for in Python, there are three primary libraries which are used by any data analyst or any BI engineer. Pandas is there for mathematical operations, like having fast operations on the last chunk of a data. You have a library called NumPy. And if you want to do some visualization kind of stuff, right, like let's say how a click view or how a tableau is working, they are all a drag and a drop based kind of tools. But Matplotlib is a library that using that, you can perform all the visualizations programmatically, what is possible in a Power BI or a Tableau. So these are kind of three foundation libraries if you want to get into this domain, Lalit, and in fact everybody. So that's it. So now coming back to our discussion around dictionaries, right? Still a lot of things are there, so we should first get into that. Now, uh, let's say I remove this part as of now, and we keep things short so that things are visible to us. So here we have this dictionary, right? And now you know that you can add items, you can remove items, right? And when I say item means a record, key value pair. Keys can only be unique, keys cannot be duplicate. Now, if you're only interested to know that what are the keys in your dictionary, right? So you can call a method called dict1, that is the name of your dictionary, and then a function called keys, right? That will print all the keys in your dictionary. That will print all the keys in your dictionary. And can you see this? When I enter the statement, can you see? We have a list inside, and that list has all the keys here, right? So that would be there. Okay, Lalit. So now that prints us the keys, and similarly I can also get the list of values as well. So how I can get this? Print here, and then dict1 dot values, right? Dot values, and here we have this, and there you get. So can you see? We got the values as well. We got the values as well. So this way we got keys, and this way we got our values as well, right? So this is this. Okay, now if you want a combination of both, in that case you have to say dict1, right? Dict1 dot items, right? Dict1 dot items. Can you see this? Dict1 dot items. Okay, just correction here. So dict1 dot items. Now, can you see when we are saying dict1 dot items, it is printing a list, and within a list, right? Every entry is a tuple. Can you see? And inside every tuple, you have a key and value. Can you see this? You have a key and then the corresponding value in the first tuple. Then you have a key and then the value in the next tuple. Then you have a key and the value in the next tuple, right? So, you can print that as well. And as of now, you can see we are printing all the keys in a list format. But if you want, if we want, we can do one thing. We can print the keys one by one as well. And for that purpose, we have to use a loop mechanism. So how we can use that a loop mechanism? I can say for each key, that name I can have anything, right? Just for understanding, I'm using the key name. So for each key in where I can find the keys, I can find keys in dict1 dot keys, right? So here we have, and then this, and then using a colon, and then I'm saying a print key, right? So that's there. And this way, I would be able to print the keys one by one. So can you see? We were able to print the keys one by one. Can you see this? Maths, chemistry, and physics. That was because of this, right? And similarly, I can print the values as well, right? One by one. So how I can do that? For each key in dict1, not key, I should use some other name. Okay, values. Let's see. For each value in dict1, dot values here, right? And then we have a column, and then I say a print value, right? Print value. See, so here we get a value as well printed. See this, we got the values as well. And similarly, I can, print the items one by one. So how I can do that? That for each item, right? For each item in dict1 dot items here, and then column, and then print item, right? Oh, so items, and then doing this, then column, and then say print item, right? So print item. Now, see, here you, uh, print the items as well. Can you see we print the item? And can you see this is printing tuple for us. This is printing tuple for us. So let's say if I take this tuple and copy this here, right? And now this is tuple. And now we know, guys, that maybe we can do this assignment in such a way that key comma value is equal to, right? Key comma value is equal to this, right? So what will happen in this case, guys? Can you let me know that what would be the value of key and what would be the value of this variable value? So obviously we know this, right? Because this is a tuple, right? So math would be assigned to key and the value, value will get 70 here. So why I'm doing it? Basically, this is equal to item, right? So I can do this same stuff here, that instead of item, what I can write here, key comma value I can write, because ultimately what the item is holding, both values, key as well as value. So I can just, use two variables as well while, going for a for loop. And then I can print, let's say a key. I'm only interested in to print a key only, then I can just mention key here. If I'm only interested to print the values and only, so I can print value as well. If I'm interested in both, I can, do the both as well. And this time we will not see tuple, right? See this? Math 70, chemistry 65, physics 80, because of this change. Because now this was giving us tuple, but what we did a a kind of unboxing. What unboxing means? It was given to us as a a kind of a bundle, but now we unbundled those two items. And if you want to do something, let's I'm interested in printing the value first, and then I will print the key, so that you can change here. So here you get this part as well. Can you see this time we are getting the values first, and then we are getting the subject. So is that clear? That how you can play around with this kind of looping and all in dictionary. Is that clear with everyone? Uh, okay, Ankur. So Mino is saying, can we use indexing and print only one values like math 80? Mm, indexing is like in Mino, indexing in dictionary is like specifying a key, but you cannot say something like that. Can we get something like dict1, and then I'm saying that just that what is that index 0? No, it's not allowed. I think that was you were interested to know, Mino. Was that the question? Okay, no, it's not possible, right? You can only specify a valid key here. You can only specify a valid key here. Otherwise, you have a key error. Can you see? We got a key error. It says that 0 is no key in my dictionary, so I can't give you the data. That's it. So now, after understanding this part, couple of other things, right? Couple of other things here. Can you see that in my dictionary, you can see the marks like this. But let's say we want to get into couple of more details. As of now, you can see we are saying that in maths we got 70 marks. 70 marks are the overall marks. can we specify this stuff as well, that let's say during the entire year of education, there were two exams of maths, right? And now we want to specify individual marks, right? So what we can do that, rather than writing a cumulative mark 70, maybe we can specify that let's say 40 marks were in the first midterm, and 30 marks were obtained in midterm 2, let's say, for example. So how we can specify that? Maybe for that purpose we can use a list, and inside list I can specify 40 as the first midterm marks, comma 30 as a second midterm marks, right? So is that possible in a dictionary? Yes, that is possible in a dictionary too. So can you see this? We can specify a list as well as a value, right? We can specify a list as a value. So when I say dict1 and then I say maths, right, it will print me a list, right? Can you see this? And if I'm interested to know that how many marks he got in the first term, so I have to use another index. And because I'm talking about the first midterm, so I have to specify index 0. So I will get 40 only. And if I say how many marks in a midterm 2, so then I have to specify index as 1, and then we got 30. But again, this is not very good, because again, I'm not very sure whether the 40 marks belong to midterm 1 or 30 marks belong to midterm 2. I have to rely on the a sequence. Maybe I can do one more thing, that having, rather than list, can I have a dictionary itself in the in the value? So can I specify something like that, where I say in the midterm 1, so I call this as empty 1, in the midterm 1 I got 40 marks, right? So that becomes my first record, right? And then I say in midterm 2, right, I got 30, for example. So now you can see this is kind of a dictionary inside a dictionary, and this becomes a kind of example, what you call as a nested dictionary. Is it allowed? Let me check here. So yeah, it's allowed. We can do that. And now if you want to know the marks in maths, how we'll go for that? So dict1, and then I will specify the key, which is maths. Oh, sorry. So maths, and here you get. So can you see in the response, you're getting back a dictionary. And if you're interested to know the marks in empty 1, then how you can specify that expression? This way you get the entire dictionary. And now you specify one more index where you specify empty 1 or empty 2, right? So let's say you want to know marks in empty 1. So you have to specify this way, and this way you get. So I think this is much cleaner approach. So like if you break it down, your marks into, term wise, or, into various, evaluation checks. So that would be a much better approach. That is much cleaner, actually. That specifies the details in a much better way. So this is how you can play around with your dictionary. Is that okay with everyone? Did you get the idea what we were talking about? Okay, Ankur saying yes. Minu saying yes. Okay, cool. Lalit, Kalyan, is that okay with you? Yeah, Bharti? Oh, cool. Now, let's take one final example that how we can make use of a dictionary to solve some problem. And what can be that problem? Let's understand that part. So maybe we can do this. For example, I have a data in a string format. So I have a data like this: str1 is equal to Oxford COVID vaccine, let's say, COVID-19 vaccine, for example. That's my data in a string, right? And for the simplicity, I can just make this small as well. So Oxford COVID-19 vaccine. This is my string. And now what I want to do, please listen carefully. What I want to do, I want to calculate the frequency of each letter that comes in this string. I want to know the frequency of each letter that comes in this string. What do you mean by frequency? Frequency means that how many times O has come, how many times X has come, how many times F has come, how many times R has come, and so on. So this is the frequency that we want to calculate. That means somehow we have to specify this kind of data, that O is coming, for example, how many times O is coming in our case. So one O is here, another O is here. This is, so O comes three, times. So that becomes the frequency of O. And then we say how many times X is coming. So obviously that's just one time coming. And similarly for other letters as well, right? For D, for R, for 1, for 9, all. And can you see, if we want to, represent this data, right, where we are saying what is the frequency of each letter, what do you suggest, guys? Which data structure would be most suitable to, represent this kind of information, this kind of data? What we should use? Should we use list? Should we use dictionary? Should we use tuple? What should we use? Obviously, we should use a dictionary here, right? And that would be the best way to represent this data, dictionary, right? So how we can do that then? How we can do that? The simple approach can be something like that. Let's see. Maybe I start with a dictionary, right, which is, empty in the beginning. There is nothing. And now what I can do, I can go through this string, right? I can iterate through this string and check, check the frequency or check the count of each letter. So how we can do that? Maybe for that purpose, we have to use a for loop. So how to do that? For each letter in str1, right? So what will happen in that case? In the first iteration, what will happen? In the first iteration, letter would be equal to O, right? And now we want to know that how many times O is coming in the entire string. So for that purpose, what we can do, we can call a method from str1, which is called as count. And count gives us the, a number of occurrences of a particular letter. So we can say that give me the occurrences of this letter. So in the first iteration, letter is O. So O would be here, and it will count that how many times O has come in the entire string. So obviously this would be 3 here. And we can update this value into the dictionary. This is a value, right? It will give us an integer number. So we can update this as a value. So how we can update this as a value? For that, we have to make a key in the dictionary, right? And what would be the key in this case? Obviously, letter has to be the key in this case. So dictionary 1, right? And letter, letter. So guys, letter is a variable, so I don't have to keep it in the a single quote or double quote, right? So here would be the case. Can you see now? For each letter in str1, dict1, letter. So letter becomes the key. In the first iteration, letter is O, so O will become the key, and the count, will become a value. So can you see after this, do we get the, a right data in the dictionary? So let's see if that works for us. And see on the dict, we should print the dict1. Can you see? We got the data. Can you see? It is saying that O comes 3 times, X comes 1 time, F comes 1, R1, D2, and a space. It is also saying coming twice. This is all. But there is a little issue with this loop actually. Can you guys figure out, right? Can you figure out that what the problem may have in the loop? What the problem? Can we have some kind of optimization possible here? Can we do some kind of optimization here? Can we do that? See, no, Kalyan, that is not the case, right? Uh, yes, we can do that, Bharti. You know what the point I want to make here is that, see this, we just have to, uh, uh, you know, Ankur, we just have to see this, see how, there is some kind of a repetition, here. Sometime, a kind of a computation is, done, multiple times to get the same information. We are doing a multiple computations to get the same information, the data that already we have, but still we are going to check it again. So how it is happening? Let's focus here on this iteration. See, in the first iteration, what would be the case in the first iteration, that is iter one, for example. In the iter one, what will happen in the dict one, right? It will add O for us, right? And it will set the count for A. That's it, right? In the next iteration, guys, right? In the next iteration, that is iteration two. Okay, let me say it, iteration one. In the iteration two, what will happen, guys? In the dict one, it will add a new, a key for us, and here it will say a one, right? And the third iteration, what will happen? It will add again a new key, right? Dict one. Okay, let's correct it here. X. Okay, in the third iteration, what would be the value of letter? Letter would be F. So uh, here we write that F is 1, right? So this count is about the entire string, right? That, in the entire string, how many times O has come. In the entire string, how many times X has come. Okay, now let's go to iteration 4, where we have a problem, right? So we go to the iteration 4. What is there? In the iteration 4, again, we have the O, right? So again, what we have to do, again, we have to call this count method. But already we have, in the first iteration, already we got the, a final number for that count, right? So what is happening in the fourth iteration, the same step, the same processing will occur what we had in the iteration one. That means we are again trying to calculate the count for O, and that number is already with us. Can you see this? That number is already with us. Why should we do that again? That means we have an optimization scope here. Did you get the problem now? That why, this was not a good optimized code. This is a repetition here. Did you get this, guys? Did you get this? So how we can do that? How we can avoid, right? Yeah, Kalyan, it will not print two times, because when I say this part again here, right? When I say in the fourth iteration, the same step is happening. What happened? It overwrites everything. So that means this record is gone away, and now we have the latest record, this. And that's why it's not repeating, right? That's why it is not repeating for us. Because anyway, you can have only a unique key, right? So this is, earlier this was written, right? And again you are writing this. That's just a overwriting. That's just a overwriting. That's just a, doing the same process again and again. Is that clear, Kalyan, now? Is that clear with you now? Yeah, that would be that can be there, because already you have put up kind of a placeholder for that, Kalyan, but it is just a replacement of the value, because key was already there, and you're just rewriting the value again and again, value again and again. So it's a kind of a rewriting the value again, right? That is there. So how we can how we can handle this kind of a situation, handling this kind of a situation can be like this. Maybe we can do a little optimization here, so how we can do a little optimization here. So I'll just remove this part. Okay, so maybe we can rewrite this code again. So maybe we can do one thing. uh, I can make a check here that if letter, right, if letter in dict one, right? If letter in dict 1, uh, then, or rather than, better to say, if letter not in dict 1, right? If letter is not in dict 1, that means this letter was not entered earlier in the dictionary, right? And maybe you can say, but for a better understanding, you can say dict1 dot keys. So if letter is not in the keys, that means you have to make an entry for that in the dictionary, right? And if the letter has already come into the dictionary as a key, we do not need to calculate the count again. Can you see this part? Right? So I'm just checking that if letter is not available in the dictionary as of now, we need to add that letter as a key and set the count as a value. And if it is already there, I don't need to go and check the count again. So this way, a kind of a little optimization is possible here. Did you get it, guys? That why I have used not in, right? So this way, you can say. So still your answer is same. No change into that. Ankur, is that clear with you? Okay. What can be the other way? Okay, because now, guys, again, what do you think? What do you think, right? Uh, okay, so Kalyan is saying, how did you figure out it is counting letter repetitions every time? Because count is a method for entire string. So when you specify some letter here, Kalyan, it will traverse entire string, right? And then get you the number of repetitions, right? And so that is there. So whenever we are calling the count, it traverses the entire string, and that's the problem again, right? Let's say you have thousands of letters in a given string. What will happen? This process will become a really slow for you. Count will become a dead slow method for you if you have thousands of letters in a given string. Okay, here only we had just 10, 15, 20 letters, and that's why it was okay to use the count method. But count method is not a very good method. It takes a lot of time, and we have seen in a couple of cases where it took around half an hour, right, to process this loop, when we have around 20,000 or 30,000 letters in my uh, uh, string, right? That's there. So how we can change this? Can we have some other mechanism to do that? Can we avoid count method itself? Yes, we can avoid count method itself. So let's take a more refined version of it. Let's take a more refined version of it. So I start from here. I So that would be, the most efficient one basically. So see this. This is it we have. And now let's start with a loop. So we are again starting with a loop that for each letter, right, in str1, for each letter in str1, right? See guys, now, very important part, what I'm saying. Now I say that if my letter not in a dict1, right? I can say dict1 dot keys as well, but it will work as well, right? So if my letter not in dict1, then what I need to do? I'm in the first iteration, guys, right? I'm in the first iteration, and this time in the first iteration, letter is this. And as of now, my dictionary is completely empty. There is no entry because this is running for the first time, right? That means dictionary is completely empty. There is no record into this. So what I can do in that case? In that case, I will make letter as a key. So how I can make letter as a key? So this becomes a key for me. Oh, not this way. A letter is a variable, right? So I have to just write it this way. So letter will become a key, right? And if that is the case, because letter has come, right, for the first time, so I should set the value to 1, right? So I'll come to that, Lalit. Let me complete this, this, and then I'll take up that. So now, guys, I'm doing what? For letter in str1. If letter not in dictionary one, that means that letter has occurred for the first time. It was not there so far. And if that letter is occurring so far, I can easily keep the count of that letter as one because that is occurring for the first time. That means the frequency so far, right? Frequency of that letter so far is just one because that has come for the first time to me, right? What will happen in that case? I'm using this condition. So guys, now see, right? Now see what we get here, right? So let me run it again, and then we have to see what is into my dictionary, right? What is into my dictionary? See, let's see what we get in the dictionary. Can you see? A very interesting stuff has come that we got every letter as a key in the dictionary. That is working fine for us. The value for everyone is set to one only. The value for everyone is just set to 1, 4. Why? The reason is itself in our loop. Because what we are saying, if letter not in the dict 1, right, we are adding that letter. So first time, when we are meeting a particular letter for the first time in the, loop, right, obviously it will get an entry of our dictionary and set the value to 1. But when the letter is repeating for the next time, this condition will become false. It will say, I have already that letter in dictionary 1, I will not make you entry, right? And if it will not make an entry, so we are always with value as 1. That means we are not handling the part where we find that letter is already available in the dictionary. What should be the case in that way, right? What should happen if the letter is already in the dictionary 1? In that case, we should only increment the value by 1 if we are finding the letter again, right? If we are finding the letter again, so already we have the key corresponding to that. What we need to make change? The change that we need to make is that we should increment this 1, right? And we add a 1 more. So that means if we are getting the letter for the second time, make 1 to 2. If you are meeting the letter for the third time, make 2 to 3, right? If you are meeting the letter again, make 3 to 4. That means whenever we are encountering that letter again, we are making or we are incrementing the value, y1. Is that logic clear to you guys? And then I can write that part in the else section basically, right? Yeah, Lalit. I can write that part in the else section. So what will happen if the letter is already available in the dictionary? I have to go to the else, right? And in that case, I just need to make one thing. I need to increment my value by 1. So how I can increment the value by 1? I say dict 1 and then letter. That will fetch me the value. And I can add to, a 1 and assign this value again to my key. So I say dict 1 and this is my key, right? So here, see this, guys, right? So this is how, right? This is how this will fetch you the previous value. You are adding 1 to it and finally assigning it again to the key. So this is how, you will see that you have solved that problem with the count. You are not using count anymore, right? You are not using count anymore. And here you see that we got the right values, right? Yes, Kalyan, if else loop is more efficient than count, right? Because we are not traversing the entire string. As long as we are getting the letters during the iteration, we are just making a change in the value. That's it, right? And that's it. And that's why it is more efficient way. That is the right way actually, right? That you should not go for the count. If the okay, if you have a smaller data set, you can manage with the count. But I think that is much a refined approach, right? And now, if let's say if you're not happy that why the space is coming, because it is saying space is coming twice. If you're not happy with this, maybe you can do one thing, right? That can be kind of a revision for you. I can make a change here in this loop. I say, if letter, right? If letter is equal to a space, right? If latter is equal to space, you don't want to make an entry for this space in the dictionary, then okay, no issues. You just say continue, right? If you find the latter, which is a space, and you don't want to make an entry for that in the dictionary, okay, don't worry. You just continue, right? What will happen in the continue? If you meet the continue, rest of these statement would be skipped. They will not be executed, right? And you will continue with your loop again, right? And this way, now you can see you have skipped successfully the spaces in your dictionary. Can you see? No entry for the space now. Okay, now coming to Lalit question, right? Lalit is saying, how about have n variables initialized with 0 and have n plus 1 in if and avoid else? So, Lalit, why again to go for an initialization? If I can manage, this stuff without any initialization, because as such in the dictionary, I don't find any way that you can, initialize, with certain, because in the beforehand you don't know how many unique letters you will have, right? Because those unique letters only will make a entry for the key in the dictionary, right? And in the beginning you don't have any idea that how many unique letters you are going to have in the dictionary, and right, and against that you can write the frequency. So you don't have any idea. It's just a black box for you. And during the iteration, during the looping mechanism, you come to know that whether you have to make an entry for the first time or whether you have to just increment the value by 1. Is that clear, Lalit, now? So initialization again is also a cost to the system, right? Initialization again is a cost to the system, Lalit. So if you can avoid it and manage it without that, you can do that. So initialization again is a instruction cycle for a CPU. So that's there. Okay, you had a one more question in the okay. So Lalit is saying, what if you want to calculate the frequency of word? Then we have to assign the string and list, str and list, and then and do the same thing. I'm thinking I'm making a sense. Okay, you are making a sense, Lalit. But I think you are saying something like that. What you're saying? What you're trying to say? Okay, I think Lalit has, a right question to make. Probably I can answer that, and that should be interesting for you as well. Rest of the guys. See, uh, uh, you know, mm, see that. Uh, okay, Sylvester, that is okay. See, uh, or maybe you can join them by 10-15 minutes late, Sylvester. Okay, yeah, fine. Because I want you to explain that code. Okay, Lalit, coming to your part, let's say you have a string something like that. I'll just quickly do that. str, and then you have something like, uh, let's say, Lalit, for example, Lalit, Kalyan, right? Bharti, Meenu, Ankur. Anyone else left? Okay, after this, I do Muthu is also there. I think he joined late. Us, okay, and then I again say Lalit, and then I say Bharti, and then I say Meenu. Okay, so now you can easily see there is a repetition, of okay. So Lalit is saying you need to include Fosk as well. So I say Fosk. So okay, that is there. Now see, there are words into this, right? And now we want to know the frequency of the words. How we can do that, right? I'm not interested to check the frequency of each letter. I'm more interested to check a frequency of each word for that. So in that case, Lalit, you can do one thing. Better to split this str1 into a list, right? So maybe we can do a list1 is equal to str1, a dot split. Can you see? And it's split with a space only, right? It's split with a space only. So let's see what will happen in that case. You have a str1 and then you get a list one. Can you see? A list has come, right? And now it's better, right? Now it's better to manage this, using the same loop what we had earlier, right? But this time I will run a loop on the list, right? Not on the str1. So I will run the loop on the list, and I don't need this because I'm not, I will not get a space anywhere. And to better represent this, I should use this. I should say for each word in list one, if the word is not in dictionary, I will add it for the first time, right? So here I'm just making changes, so we don't have to write too much. So here we get a word here, and here as well, we'll have the same change. Word. So Lalit, this example is a little close to your text analytics actually. So I think it should work now. Let's try. Otherwise, we'll fix if some issue comes. Okay. See. Oh, where we have what we did something wrong. Are we getting something? Oh, we made a mistake here. It has to be dict1. Okay. So. Okay, fine. We are done now, and let's see dict1. Okay, previous stuff is also coming, so let's initialize dict1 to empty. Okay, that will make things clear, everything. So here you go, and here you write dict1. Can you see now? Lalit 2, Kalyan 1, Bharti 1, Mini 2, Ankur 1, Mithu 1, Bharti 1, Fast 2. That's there. So it's handling the text data, Lalit. So this is how. Is that clear with everyone? I think it was interesting to solve. A quick one. Yeah. So now I'm moving from dictionary to. I'm moving from dictionary now to a next data structure in our case, and that is called as Dr. Muthu. Are things clear so far with you? I think you joined a little late, so I'm not sure. Are you catching up with us? So okay, so now I'll just quickly go through the set as well. See, we have okay, thank you. So let's say we have a list here, right? We have a list here, and the list has 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, again 2, kind of that, right? So this is my list, right? And what I want out of this list, I want the unique values from this list one. I want the unique values from this list one. Unique values means I want in the output that it only should have, a one entry corresponding to one value. So it should have 1, then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. That's it. That should be the output of this list. We should not get the repetitions in the output. So how we can do that? For that purpose, the easiest thing that we can do in Python is that we can probably typecast this list one to a new data structure, and that data structure is called as set, right? And what the set does, set always has unique values on. Set cannot have a duplicate. No duplicates are allowed in a set. So what we can do, if we typecast our a list one to a set, what will happen? It will remove those duplicates. Let's say s1 is equal to set. So now you will see what we get in the s1. So here we get and now in the s1 you see we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. Repetitions are not allowed here. But at the same time, you should think that this is set. not list. And can you see this? This is under curly braces. And don't confuse that it's a dictionary. No, in a dictionary, you always get a key value pair. But in a set, right, you have the simple unique numbers that way, right? Is that clear? Don't get confused with a dictionary, right? It's not a dictionary, it's a set. In the dictionary, you have key value pairs, right? You have a column. So when you say something like that, right? When you say something like that, that this is my var is equal to this, will it be a dictionary or will it be a set? Because in both of the cases, we are using curly brace, right? So will it be a dictionary or will it be a set in that case? Uh, you know, Python will mark it as a dictionary. Python will mark it as a dictionary, not as a set. So can't we have an empty set? Yes, we can have empty set. In that case, you just need to say s is equal to that class name is set, obviously, and you just call the constructor, right? And in that way, your var would be empty dictionary. So var is empty dictionary that you can see, and your s would be a empty set that you can see, right? So that is there, right? And if you don't want to store these values in the set, maybe you can do one more thing. You can again typecast s1 to a list, right? S1 to a list, and assign the output to a list 2. So let's say in this case your list 2 will have the final data without any duplicate values. So here you go, and you get the list 2. That's it. 1 2 3 4 5, right? And now if you remember those mathematics days in your engineering or in your science or maths days, where you were doing certain discrete mathematics, if you remember, right? There was a subject called discrete mathematics, where you used to use sets, right? Set theory, if you remember, one subject or one topic was there, right? So let me define quickly two set for you: 1 2 3 4 and 5. This is set 1 for me, right? Okay, let's 4 only. And then another set for you, which is let's say 3 4 5 and 6, right? uh, a couple of things that you need to take care of, right? That can we access an individual element in the set using a key, using index? Let's see if that works. Print s1 at index 0. See if that is allowed. We got an error. And what the error is, it is saying set object is not subscriptable. Subscriptable means you cannot have an index mechanism. So guys, always remember, sets are unordered. Sets are unordered and they have no index mechanism. You cannot access a set through a, right? A set. You cannot use index. Then what you can do? It is being used at a couple of places. Do you remember if we want to union S1 with S2, what would be the case in that case? So it will merge, the values from S1 and S2 as well, right? So it will merge S1 and S2 values. So here you see print, and then merging S1, so union, so that is there. So see 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, right? And similarly, if you remember that intersection, right? Do you remember intersection, the common items only, right? S1 dot intersection, right? Intersection with what? Intersection with S2. So only the stuff which is common in both S1 and S2 would be printed for us, right? Would be printed for us. So here we see S1 and S2. And what is the common in between S1 and S2? Only two items. 3 and 4 are the items which are common into that. You can add more values in the set as well. So let's say you want to say S1 dot add, right? And you want to say 10, right? This is allowed, right? It will add a new value, right? So see this allowed. But what will happen if you add a same value? That means you force a duplicate value. So how it will behave? So S1 dot add, and we already know that the one is already added into S1, so we add again S1. Basically it will not raise any error for you. It will just skip that, like it will just ignore that part, or but still you have this no duplicates into that, Dalit. So this is how a very a quick way that how you can go around with the set. And this is I have for today. This is I have for today, and I think better we can discuss a couple of assignments from from yesterday's part. So what was that assignment? Sylvester, can you quickly take that?
Can you open it?
Yeah, I'll just
the
open
bookshop
that.
one. Can
Okay,
you open the solution for that? I think so.
where it is?
It is
In the
in your
drive
drive,
only?
in the drive itself.
Okay, is it 16, right? So bit.ly, it has to be what, drive or what? I
Yeah,
have to check for that.
bit.ly, sir.
Uh, okay, just a minute. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm, somehow my system is a little slow today. I need to fix it. Okay. So
Go
here you
to
see.
day 4 solutions.
Okay, day 4 solution. So can you see the we have organized everything for you in the drive. Day 1, and then solution is day 1, and solution day 3, and solution, and so on. And this is our bookshop assignment. And I don't know how many of you have tried it. But okay, I think Sylvester, first you will have to explain the problem, and then only okay. So I think should I a little, is that better now?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
okay.
I'll just go for a sip of water. I'll come back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good evening, everybody. So I hope you people are doing assignments on a daily basis. That would really help you only. This was one of the typical assignment related to your map and lambda. Okay, so I'll first help you understand the problem statement and then give you a way to solve that. So the solution can happen in two ways, guys. One way is the traditional using a for loop. Okay, so you need to solve this question using two mechanisms. One is using the for loop, and the second is using the map and lambda concept. So the question says, guys, that let's imagine that you need to write a small routine or a function for a bookshop. And as you can see on the screen, I've got a couple of data related to the order, the title, the author, the quantity, the price per item. Okay. And if you can see, there are 4 rows for it. Each and every row represents a single order. For example, 34587 is the order number. You've got a title for it, Learning Python. Author is Mark, okay, and quantity is 4, and price per item is 40.95. Similarly, you've got other records, other order numbers. So guys, what you need to do is you need to give me output in the form of list of tuples. Okay, so guys, what I'm trying to say is you need to give me an output in the form of list of tuples. So if you can see at the bottom, guys, I have given you a sample output for it. And what that output says list of tuples. And if you can see, I've got a square bracket, and within square brackets, I've got tuples. Can you see, guys? There are 4 tuples. 1, 2, 3, 4. Within what? A list. And what is this each tuple representing? Let's correlate this with the above order number. This says that the 3, 4, 5, 8, 7 is the order number. And the next thing in the tuple is what? The total price for that. Because you remember the quantity was 4 and price per item was what? 40.95. So what happens? This tuple represents what? This tuple represents the multiplication of quantity as well as price, and we are showing what? The order number. Since we had 4 rows of data, the output is what? 4 tuples in a list. So guys, is this clear? The first output. But I do not want this first output, I want some extended output also. Okay, so if you can see, I have one more output at the bottom. Okay, can you select that, sir? Yeah, can you select this full row? This is what I want. So let's compare this with the earlier list of tuples. Okay, so if you see the first one, its order number is 34587 and the amount is what? 168.8. So here also it's 168.8. The second one is what? 284. Here also is 284. The third one is, guys, it's less than 100 rupees or $100, whatever the currency is. Okay, if this amount is less than $100 or 100 rupees, what you need to do is you need to add 10. So if you see 98.85, what I've added 10. Similarly, the last one, it's 74.97. I have to add 10 to it. So guys, can you give me a confirmation whether you are able to understand what output I want? Output I want is a list of tuples, and tuples will have what? The order number as well as the total pricing. And if the total pricing is less than $100, you need to add $10 to it. So guys, is this clear? Can you give me a confirmation on my chat? Is the problem statement clear to you? Okay. Good. So we'll move to the solution. I'm not taking the for loop. I'm assuming people can do with the for loop. I'll go with the approach of how to use the lambda and map. So you can down, sir. Can you scroll down more? More, sir. More. Yeah. Yes. Perfect. So the first part is, guys, you remember I had that order summary. Okay. So what you need to do is, first of all, convert that into a data type. And if you see, I have created the orders on top. And what is orders, guys? I'm able to convert that data into a list of lists. Can you see, guys? So can you highlight the top one, orders, sir? Only the orders. So what I'm able to do, I'm able to convert my data into a list of lists. Every list within the outer list represents one record. And what the record will have? The record will have the 5 things. What? The order number, the name, the author, the quantity, and price per item. This is the way I am able to add all my data into my data structure, that is what? List of list. Okay. So what I need to do is now, guys, remember I told you I need to create a list of tuples now out of this, and list of tuples will have what? Order number as well as the total pricing. So guys, see what I am doing. Just select the next line, sir. Order summary one. Yeah. Okay. So guys, see now, I'm not using a for loop, because if you see, if I want to iterate all the elements of this list, orders list, okay, I can use a for, but I think so you people were taught the concept of map. Map does the same thing. And in the map, you have two parameters. The first is a function, and the second is the list. So if you see the map, okay, within the map, I am passing two parameters. The first is the lambda function, and second is what? The orders. So if you see this statement, guys, this map function has been passed by two things. The first is the lambda function, comma, second is the orders. So what will map do internally, guys? Map will read one element from orders and pass it where? In the x of lambda. So if you can see, before the colon is what? The argument, and after the colon is what? The return. And guys, what you want? You want the return as what? As a tuple. So guys, see, after the colon, what I am creating? I am creating a tuple there. And what should be there in the tuple? In the tuple, the first part should be what? It should be my order number. So x0, comma, second should be what? The multiplication of the quantity and the price per item. Okay, and I have rounded that also. So it is multiplying this and creating this tuple. And when this map goes on, it gives me a lot of items. So what I am doing? I am typecasting that as what? As a list. So this is coming in my order summary. Okay. So can you copy these three statements in your, this in your REPL, so people can have a look there also. Yeah. So you can run it, sir. I want to show the people the order summary. So guys, see now, okay? Yes, highlight. See the highlighted. Concentrate on the highlighted one. This is what is printed by the order summary. This is what I wanted. It has given me as what? As a list of tuples. And list of tuples means what? The tuple is having what? The order number as well as the multiplication of the quantity in this. Okay. But now I need to add my next logic. What was the next logic? Iterate through all these items and now check whether if the total pricing is less than 100. If it is less than 100, add what? 10 to it. Okay. So let's do that now. So can you show the code, sir, now? Perfect, sir. Perfect, sir. Okay. So now, guys, see this syntax is bit typical. Okay. Just try to concentrate. I am using the same map now. Okay, because I want to iterate through the order summary. So map has two parameters. The first is lambda and second is what? The order summary. Okay, so sir, you can highlight the order summary there. So this is the order summary you are trying to read here. Okay, so in the map I have passed what? My order summary. Now when a map is iterating every element, this every element is coming in x. So if you can see in the lambda x, as a left hand side to the colon, okay, now my x values are coming. And what is my x values, guys? It's a tuple. Okay, and tuple is having what? My tuple is having my order number and the total quantity. And now, guys, what I need to write is I need to write a small logic there. Okay, if and else. So the syntax of if and else is a bit typical here. Try to understand. I have said if my x1, what was x1, guys? Do you remember? X0 represents what? The order number, because x is pointing towards my tuple. So x0 is what? X0 is my order number, and x1 is what? The total quantity. So what I have said, if my total quantity is greater than or equal to 100, I want to use x on the left hand side of the x of the if. This is the syntax of if and else within what? Within your map. So what it will do, if my x1 is greater than 100, it will take it as x. Else what it will do? Else means what? My pricing is less than 100. So if my pricing is less than 100, what I need to do? I need to create the tuple again. So that's why, guys, what I'm trying to do, in the else statement, I'm trying to create my tuple. So can you select this? Yes. Up till yes. Yes. This what I'm trying to do. In the else what? Creating a tuple. And what will create a tuple have? The order number. So x0 is the order number, comma what will have? X1, that is the total amount, plus what? Adding 10 to it. Okay, and in this way it will create a list for me, and I'm typecasting that list into what? An invoice total. And then what I'm doing, I'm trying to print that. So guys, is this clear now? And guys, if you people want, you can use the concept of chaining to have the solution as a one-liner also. Okay, because what is order summary? Order summary is nothing but it's a list. So can you copy paste the list from the top, sir? Line number 91, 99, line number 99, up till list, sir. Not here, from the list is equal to, yeah, from here. Yes, copy this, and this just replace my order summary for that. Okay, and now guys, I'm able to convert my solution into a single liner using the concept of what? My map and lambda. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah, it's a little, but I think it's a good brain exercise as of now. Maybe you can give a hands-on to it later on. This drive will be available to you. You can access the contents even later on, right? Uh, so at least for a couple of next weeks, this is available. So maybe you can use this stuff from that. So uh, that's it for today, guys, right? Yeah, Bharti, you need more practice. Everybody needs more practice, actually, right? And and uh, and also, in case you want a certificate, we have been sharing the link in the email as well, and this is the link that you can use to register for certificate. And I hope people have liked this program. So if you have any suggestions for us, please, uh, you know, uh, you know, okay, Bharti. Bharti is saying my husband already paid for the certificate. Okay, Bharti, thanks for that. So, Lalit is saying, okay, I'm very much interested in text analytics, where you do web scraping, news articles, Word docs, PDF using Python. Do we have something around it? Okay, even if it's a paid course, I'm fine for it. Lalit, we are working out on a couple of new course products, and obviously this is there with us what you are talking about.
So we are in the process of designing some US specific courses as well, because based on your input, right? Based on that, we are working on those things. So Lalit, because now we have your details, we'll announce it to you. All right. Please just stay tuned. That is there. Muthu saying, I see tutorials on ML and AI. Can you provide some information on this? Muthu, maybe you can go to our, as of now, what I can suggest you can go to our YouTube channel, and we have a series there, a 1 week series on machine learning and AI there on YouTube. And probably you can go through that series. So yes, Lalit, you can use the same WhatsApp number, right? You can use the same WhatsApp number. And if I, you can search for fast coding school, Dr. Muthu, and they will, there you will have some playlist around it, right? So you can, go and check for machine learning. So can you see there is a season 9, Dr. Muthu, AI ML using Python. This is one, right? So Lalit is saying, I'm from Bharatpur, would love to connect with you. Lalit, that's my native place, yeah. So so thank you for that. Anyway, stay connected. Nice to connect with everyone, including you, Lalit. Right. So now, Bharti saying, and if you have interview questions, I would appreciate it. I think we have to work on that input, Bharti, first, and we'll come back to you. And then, okay, Bharti saying, I'm interested in data analytics and deep learning and paid courses. Please keep me posted on this. Yeah, we'll keep you posted, Bharti, around it. I think based on your input, we have to somehow reorganize a couple of things so that we are better prepared for the US market. Probably we'll do 1 or 2 pilots, even before we go for a paid course kind of that, because what we really need to understand is that, how to promote this stuff there in the US territories. And that is something, we are still in middle of learning that. So I think we'll get to that soon, and then we will have a full-fledged activities there. So if you have anything to share with us regarding that, I request everyone to please apprise us in that way. Yeah, Lalit, I think that's okay. I'll connect with you one-on-one, and I will talk around that. Thank you for that. Meenu, are you there? Are you good with today's stuff, Kalyan? Kalyan, as of now, we see that videos are available on YouTube channel. You can go and enjoy them if you like them, right? In future, we'll have some changes in our strategy. As of now, a lot of things are going in, free mode. But we are thinking that how we can, go around and improve our, revenue top line. So we are working on those directions. So as of now, things are available to you. They are free, and you can go and enjoy them, right? Yeah, Kalyan, you need to go through them again. You have. Meenu saying, if you have anything up, new coming up, please update it. Yes, Meenu and everybody else in the room, we will keep you posted for any new initiative that we do in the US market. Just we are trying to understand the market first, right? Yeah, Lalit, thanks for that. Lalit is saying, I would love to help you guys in any way. Thank you, Lalit. That's a nice gesture. And I'm expecting a helping hand from everybody actually. So in any way you can, do that. Yeah, Kalyan, thanks for that. Yeah.
Bharti is a very old student of mine, sir.
Okay,
She
you
was
have been
doing,
connected for so
yeah,
long. Right?
yeah. She was
I
doing,
saw Bharti's hometown is Jodhpur. Yeah.
yeah, she was from Jodhpur only, sir.
So typical mirchi badas and mawa kachoris, Okay, anyway, thank you. So I think we can close it now, right? And okay, so Lalit is also saying I did engineering from MBM. So you have a strong connect with Jodhpur and Lalit, right? Dr. Muthu, thanks. Thank you from my side as well, and we'll keep you posted. And thanks for joining us, and your inputs were good. Yeah, thanks, Kalyan. Yeah, good. So I think now we can close it, and see you soon. Sometimes next month, or probably in October. We'll come soon. We'll come soon to the US market. Yeah. Bye bye, guys. Take care. I'm signing off now. Yeah. Thank you.